Process. Here comes Rubalcaba. Rubalcaba dribbling to the center. Rubalcaba! Haley dribbles her way through the player. Now serves across towards the far post. Arriving Cailin! Goal! Manoliliua at the edge of the 18. Touches it onto her right. Fires! What a save by Katie McLaughlin!
Hey, will anyone get there for DVC? It's Yasmin firing! Goal! Turns, Plancarte! What a save by Megan Elms!
Tied by the last defender. Valentine comes out. Noel drills the keeper. Levis! Goal! And that is a DVC victory! Welcome, faithful followers of the Green and White. I'm Joe Hickey, the radio voice of DVC Athletics, and this is Vikings Soccer Rewind, a little trip down memory lane to help us pass a long fall season without DVC sports. Over the next 3 months, I'll be playing the hits from the 2014, 2015, and 2016 DVC soccer seasons, and along with reminiscing about those teams, we'll actually catch up with a couple Vikings alums at halftime of each game. No offense, by the way, to the last 3 editions of the Green and White. I love you ladies too, but unfortunately, games I've called, games we have video for, and games in which DVC were successful turns out to be a Venn diagram with nothing in the center. Sorry. That said, these 3 seasons are a really fun story to follow, as you'll get a look at the development that led to the greatest season in DVC soccer history, crowned with, spoiler alert, an inaugural Big 8 conference title and an appearance in the state championship game. Although every year in community college sports involves a near 50% retread of the team, the wisdom and experience passed down by every year's sophomores to the new freshman class means you get to build some institutional knowledge season by season. I hope to show you the matches in 2014 and 15 that helped build the confidence and winning attitude that made 2016 so special. So let's get started, and where better than with opening day for the 2014 Vikings on the road at DeAnza College in Cupertino, which, along with being the first outing for the Green and White, was also my first game on the mic for DVC Athletics. The amount of learning you do early in the season is always a theme for Coach Cailin Mullins each year, and it's no less true for freshman broadcasters than it is for freshman players. Among the lessons I learn here, number 1, advocate for yourself. I only finally received a roster with the correct jersey numbers for DeAnza 5 minutes before kickoff. In fact, if you look at my notes, you can see where I filled in the correct ones and then tried to get them in numerical order. It was a mess. I also didn't think to ask for a starting lineup, so when they didn't do pregame announcements, I was on my own, and I got to spend the first 15 minutes trying to desperately work out who was on the field. Now, I know better. Number 2, practice those tricky names. Here's a fun game for you to play while you watch. See if you can count how many different ways I pronounce the name of DVC midfielder Hannah Mazleski. Hint, it's more than a couple. Yes, opening day is a learning process for everyone, and class is about to be in session. I'll see you back here at halftime to catch up with 2 alums from the 2014 DVC team, but for now, enjoy the first half of DeAnza DVC, August 27th, 2014, live via tape delay on Vikings Soccer Rewind. Today, by the name of Alex Miller, is at midfield, and we have had the initial whistle, and we are off to the races. The ball in possession to begin with of the DVC Vikings. It's Avery Van Horn on it. We'll get you those formations as we get moments to pause, but it's played back to Callie Goodman, a surprise in the center defense. Left out wide now to the left side for Daisy Lozano. She's going to work her way through. Quick 1-2 with Jasmine Jaime, and the ball's forward now for Julia Caran. JC working her way through the left side, looking for a little room, tries to play it centrally for Barros. She's crowded out by a pair of defenders, and the ball is going to be cleared up here for the Anza Dons. Controlled at the back, worked up to the number 6 Robledo. She tries to control under the pressure of Bri Gonzalez here at the near sideline, just a little bit behind her midfield stripe, manages to spin out of the pressure, plays the ball forward, looking for the run of the number 3, Bustamante. Bustamante on the run here, she's gotten behind Callaway, she's over on the left side, cross comes towards the near post, and Elms has no trouble claiming that. So very quickly the restart here, no time to actually get that formation up for you. It's Daisy Lozano bringing the ball forward now, it appears to Hannah Mazleski. She will play the ball forward now, looking for the run of Julia Curran, who has just blown by Evans. She's got a chance here coming into the 18-yard box. Curran is going to slide, looking for the run of Lizzie Chavez, but it doesn't have enough juice on it, and it's going to go straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, Alexia Flippen. So So as she takes her time here on this restart, we'll take a moment to at least give you the DVC formation. As we mentioned, there's a big surprise as the long ball comes free here for Callie Goodman. She's going to have to run under the pressure of Bustamante to try to recover this and plays it off of Bustamante. The ball stays in play here after the deflection, and Goodman will whip it forward. Deflection by a DeAnza player. Ball recovered for a moment by Mazelovsky. She and Bri Gonzalez work to try to take the ball now off the number 4, Ramirez. Ball brought forward now to Lizzie Chavez. She's got Marissa Barros trying to show, hoofs it over the head of her and the defender, Juarez. And it goes all the way back to Samantha Topete of the Anza Dons. No time for formations here as we are just a few minutes into this match. The ball worked forward for the number 4, Ramirez. She manages to spin away from Bri Gonzalez. Gonzalez, however, able to recover, gets the ball forward, and it's played in for Yasmin Jaime, playing an advanced midfield position today. Right now, she's inside the center circle. Jaime is going to try to find Lizzie Chavez on the right. The ball gets by the 23, Probst, and Chavez gets a touch to it, and it goes out into touch, but it will be a throw-in for DVC, as indicated by our near side assistant referee, Steve Goldberg. Mark Schreck is over on the other side. The ball, the DVC Vikings playing from left to right here. And the ball's quickly played ahead. Jaime looking for Lizzie Chavez. Chavez has a chance to bring in a low cross. It's cleared away before it gets to any of the defenders. Chavez is going to whip this one through toward the near post, and it's going to be Alexia Flippin claiming it there. So a first opportunity, might even consider calling that a shot on goal. It did go straight through to Flippin. But the ball's back in control of DeAnza. So again, our match official today is Alex Miller. Got Mark Schreck on the other side of the field as the ball's taken away here by Marissa Barros. Barros working through the defense, tries to flick this one into space for Chavez, but she's a little bit too far behind. So it'll be taken by Flippin. Quick outlet to the number 23, Probst, here on the near sideline. She's going to bring it forward now for the 6, Robledo. It's a little bit too long. Goes out into touch for a DVC throw-in. It'll be Avery Van Horn to take this. Of course, one of the dangers of being a commentator this close to the field is sometimes you're actually involved in the action. Got a chance to actually stop that one there to shorten up the run of Van Horn. Ball quickly lost, however, out into touch after a few deflections. I believe the last one off of Bri Gonzalez. It'll be Juarez to take the throw. Headed forward by the 23, Probst. And Callaway has to be very sure-footed to get in front of Bustamante and play that back to Elms. Elms will bring it out here to Van Horn. Quick pressure coming from Probst. Works it free to Bri Gonzalez. Does nicely to settle and get around the number 4, Ramirez. Now brings it ahead for Lizzie Chavez. She's got 2 people running forward. Plays it instead off of the number 20, Juarez. It'll be a throw-in for DVC near the midfield flag here on the near sideline. A lot of play over on this side of the field. Very quickly, the DVC formation is a 4-3-3. Elms is the goalkeeper. Van Horn on the near side here, right side defense. Lozano, the left side. Callie Goodman, the surprise at center back. We heard about her versatility beforehand from Coach Mullins. She's had to be even more versatile here as a few of the defenders have gone down. Midfield consists of Mazelovsky, Hannah Mazelovsky, the number 8, Bri Gonzalez, the number 7, as the ball's hoofed forward here on this near sideline. There's pursuit coming from Robledo, but Callie Goodman is able to get to that, trying to protect. Plays it around Robledo, uses the momentum against her, and Goodman working her way now up the sideline, tries to nudge this forward looking for Chavez. Reached out to try to get a touch to it. It's played out instead by Juarez, and it will be a DVC throw-in from the midfield area, just a little bit past the midfield stripe here on the near sideline. Right side of DVC's attack as we are located. Van Horn ready to take it. That midfield, as we mentioned, consists of Gonzalez and Mazelovsky playing sort of defensive midfield positions, holding midfield positions. The ball's played forward here for Robledo. Van Horn able to hold it. Lots of time to play it back to Elms. Brings it forward for Callaway under just a little bit of pressure from Robledo. Forward for Gonzalez, one touch to the right wing for Van Horn. Avery brings it forward for Bri. Drops it back again under 2 defenders' pressure, and Van Horn, unfortunately, with the giveaway here. It is Sulma Plancarte on it. Plancarte now dancing around 2 defenders, now plays it out to the left wing for the run of Probst, who's able to keep the ball in play just barely. The cross comes in. Goodman is going to clear. It's only as far as the edge of the 18-yard box, but Gonzalez is there to claim it. She'll flick it forward into space for Lizzie Chavez. Here comes Lizzie. Lizzie's got some serious speed. She's going to move this forward now. Nicely touched for Yasmin Jaime. She plays this deep, looking for the run of Julia Coran. Maybe a little bit too much on it, not enough curve. Samantha Topete able to cover it. Ball out to the wide right side now of DeAnza's midfield, covered there by Suma Plancarte and played out for a throw-in. So, as mentioned, three-person midfield, consisting of Gonzalez, Mazaleski, and Yasmin Jaime in a more advanced position. Up front, it's Julia Caran on the left, Lizzie Chavez on the right. A lot of speed in those two. Marissa Barros manning the center forward position. Still trying to work out DeAnza's exact formation here. It's tough to tell. You've heard a number of the names. I'll try to mark them off as we go. But there was no announcement of the formations as we're here in the 7th minute. 0-0 the scoreline. Ball controlled by DVC. As Lozano tries to dribble around a defender, she actually loses it out into touch, and there'll be a throw-in from the far sideline. So the Dons appear, oddly enough, not to have... I haven't seen Selena Vasquez out here, the number 9. She is their returning leading scorer last year with 9 goals. Ball's recovered here by Brie Gonzalez. Nice job to turn and find Mazaleski. Runs it for Yasmin Jaime. A little bit strong for her, but she's able to get to it. Played into space now down the right flank for Lizzie Chavez. She's got some room and some time. Probst trying to come up to her. Chavez plays it in. It's a little too close. Punched out by Flippin. Settled here by Mazaleski. Looking for a shot. She's not going to have time to get it off. A little tough settling that one. Jaime recovers it. Tries to find Chavez on the right side. Blocked away by Probst, but she's able to recover, does Jaime, right before it goes out into touch. It's going to be Lizzie Chavez, but it's played out by Probst. It'll be a throw-in for the Vikings. So we'll try to take note of exactly who we've seen here. So the throw-in comes in to Yasmin Jaime. Here on the near sideline, attacking third for DVC. Jaime whipped to ground, no foul given. It is another throw-in, however, for Lizzie Chavez. So we've definitely seen Bustamante, Ramirez, Robledo, Flippin, Sulma Plancarte. Comes the throw-in for Brie Gonzalez. Ball is rattled around a little bit, cleared away for a moment by DeAnza, but held in by Callie Goodman about 30 yards from goal. Played in for Mazaleski. She's looking for a little bit of room, tries to dribble through a few defenders. She does so, takes a shot, which takes a deflection. It's going to be claimed, no, not claimed by Lizzie Chavez at about 10 yards from goal. Instead, it is played out by Probst again. So Probst back there is quite clearly their left back. Trying to get a sense of who they've got out there. We've definitely seen Topete, we've definitely seen Juarez and Probst on this near sideline. We'll try and get all of that sorted out by halftime, maybe. Lizzie Chavez is going to get another throw-in as the ball's played out once again by Probst. 0-0 the scoreline, 9th minute of play. Yet another ball thrown in and immediately headed back out by one of the captains. Looks like the number 18, perhaps, Madeline Kelly. Here comes a throw-in for Julia Caran. She manages to play the ball laterally across the byline. It's cleared away for a moment by DeAnza. Gonzalez battling a DeAnza midfielder. It's Ramirez trying to hold the ball in, but it is finally cleared away. It'll be Dom Calloway to pursue it. She's got an outlet. Calloway's going to knock this one all the way back to Megan Elms here near the near sideline. Elms hoofs it forward. It's going to be settled there by the number 4, Ramirez. And up comes DeAnza attacking with 4 on 5. The ball through looking for Bustamante. Comes free. Van Horn knocks to ground Heidi Robledo. And it's going to be a free kick from just outside the box here on the left side. So first foul given away today by the Vikings. We've had maybe one shot by DVC and our first foul here as well. No corners as yet as we are exiting the first 10 minutes of this match. Elms putting her team in place. Looks like it's going to be 3 in the wall. Appears to be Jaime, Gonzalez, and Mazaleski, so the entire midfield. Our match official, Alex Miller, putting everyone in place, and it's going to be Madeline Kelly to take it. Right foot from just outside the box. Kelly puts this one near the goal. It's just over the crossbar. So first shot of the day for DeAnza. Megan Elms had it covered if it was going to actually find its way toward the woodwork, but it skims it. And the first opportunity goes wanting for DeAnza. 10 minutes, 30 seconds in. Elms to take this. Ball popped up in the air here by Madeline Kelly, who is most certainly now marked as being in the game. Ball controlled here for a moment by Ramirez. Working with the number 10, Plancarte. Ball quickly brought forward here by Kelly, looking for the run on the left side of Probst. Recovered here by Lizzie Chavez in a very deep position. She'll bring it forward for Brie Gonzalez. The ball gets away from her. Jazzy Jaime able to get to it, and she absorbs the first DeAnza foul of the day. And so it'll be a free kick for DVC here in the defensive third. So trying to sum up what I'm seeing here, it appears to be Robledo, Ramirez. They definitely seem to be midfielders. It looks like they're playing with a one-striker system with Bustamante here and a lot of support in the midfield. The ball immediately headed forward off of the Callie Goodman long free kick, recovered by DeAnza. Ramirez tracking back into her own zone, and it's taken away by Yasmin Jaime very nicely. Works over to the orange boots of Lizzie Chavez, trying to work a 1-2, but Jaime's touch is too heavy, and it goes out for a DeAnza throw. So this DeAnza program, a once exceedingly proud one. Got two state championships under their belt and a couple of more recent Final Fours. As of late, though, they've fallen on hard times, haven't made the playoffs since 2009, and DVC has owned them in recent history. It is Lizzie Chavez currently receiving the ball from Marissa Barros on the near sideline, near the corner flag. She works it back to Barros. Ball comes across, knocked away for a moment here, and recovered by Ramirez of DeAnza. Ball worked out wide to the right side where the number 2 Sanchez is moving. Looks to be the DeAnza right back. Oh dear. Hannah Masalewski certainly looked like she committed a foul trying to get that ball back, but nothing given by the match official, Mr. Miller. In the middle here, Goodman knocks Bustamante to ground right at the center circle, so that will be a free kick. Second foul for DVC. And a free kick coming from inside the center circle. So thus far we've seen a few reasonable attacks down that right wing. As we mentioned, Lizzie Chavez and Julia Caran full of running, full of speed. Here is the long drive, not particularly high, and it's taken away from Probst by Callaway. Dom Callaway working forward for DVC. Ball ahead from Marissa Barros. It's currently 2-on-4, however. Barros trying to dribble around a defender, gets around one, tries to get around a second, and does very nicely to work her way around the number 20, Juarez. She's got Lizzie Chavez joining the attack, as well as Brie Gonzalez. Gonzalez is going to flare this out wide to the right side. Will it stay in play for Chavez? No. Rolls out very near the near side corner flag, and it appears we've got our first substitution of the game coming here. 14 minutes in, waiting for the yellow vest to come off. It's the number 3, Hannah Harris, preparing to enter the match. And getting her stretches in and giving an approved of show to the DVC bench. So worth noting quickly here, the available players on the bench as we have the substitution. Hannah Harris and Ashley Scannell are the forwards still available to enter. Additionally, Caitlin Cunningham and Laura Aponte, the 2 defenders available. It's Lizzie Chavez coming off for the arrival of Hannah Harris, which might mean a bit more of a 2-person strike force up there with Caran falling into the midfield. We'll see. Hannah Harris quickly working it forward. Knocked down nicely by Caran. The shot is pulled just wide to the left. And a big opportunity here on the 15th minute, just after the insertion of Hannah Harris. The shot is a little off target, and Alexia Flippen will go over to cover that. So at present, looks like we've got 9 of the 10 outfield players identified here for DeAnza. Not entirely sure who I'm missing, but I'll keep looking, obviously. It looks as though Bustamante's up top, Ramirez, Robledo, Plancarte, and Kelly in the midfield, Topete, Juarez, Probst, and Sanchez in the back, along with one other player that I haven't quite identified yet. The ball falls here to Juarez after Flippen's goal kick is knocked away. The attempt to work the ball forward here by Juarez is going to go out into touch. It'll be a throw-in for the Vikings from this near sideline, and it's Van Horn to take it just a little bit across midfield. So again, DeAnza have not beaten DVC since 2009, and they play pretty much the first game of every year against one another. It was a 2-0 DVC victory last year. Krista Bartzi and Alicia Palma with the goals. Megan Elm starting in goal today. Very much an installation now in DVC's, or between DVC's pipes. But last season she got her first ever bit of playing time against DeAnza and held a clean sheet for 45 minutes. Jen Kreider took care of the other 45. Ball played out and goes to DeAnza after a touch, I believe, from Marissa Barros. Throw-in coming up to Hannah Harris right now. Avery Van Horn trying to control it at the near sideline. Can't quite get control of it, so it's going to be Probst to take the throw. Working this down the sideline here for Robledo. It's immediately taken away by Dom Callaway and knocked all the way back to Megan Elms, who will try to build from the back. She's going to work this over here to Van Horn. Does well to touch it right by Robledo, who is trying to crash in. Dom Callaway, however, has the number 10, run in on her and rip the ball away. Tries to play it forward for Bustamante, but it's taken away there. It's Sulma Plancarte trying to play in that defender, but Goodman did well to get to that ball. Played all the way out to Daisy Lozano. Leaves it for Hannah Mazalowski, but she's lost it here to, looks like, oh, maybe that's the 8, Polini. Yep, that's the one unidentified. Nope, never mind. Nope, that's Sanchez, not Polini. Ball is knocked way deep, looking for the goal here by one of the center players. Megan Elm's able to claim it. It was the number 18, Madeline Kelly, who tried her luck from about 45 yards away. Look out here, Van Horn's lost it to Robledo. Controlled by Ramirez, knocked forward looking for Bustamante, gets one touch to it, but Goodman able to control. Goodman's got a good 7 or 8 inches of height on Bustamante there, so that can come in handy now and again. Probst controls, she's got Hannah Harris working on her. Brie Gonzalez able to get to it. Brie tries to usher it out into touch and earns a DVC throw. So it'll be Van Horn to take it here. 18 minutes, or 18th minute rather, of today's match. The throw in looking for Barros. She's wrestled off the ball by Juarez, legally apparently. Hannah Harris able to recover, however, and plays it into space in the center for Hannah Mazlowski. She's going to bring this one forward looking for the run. Oh, it's Gutierrez who cuts that off. Here comes Karan. Karan in on goal. Karan! Goal! Goal, 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 goal! Julia J.C. Karan! And in the 18th minute, DVC's got a 1-0 lead, and it's Julia Karan sprung forward after a nice bit of work by Harris to hold the ball in at the near sideline. Good control by Mazalewski, and a little bit of a weird deflection. I believe it was actually off the 19, Samantha Topete, trying to defend that ball. And so DVC jump into the lead here in the 18th. The ball is controlled right now by Probst of DeAnza, working it, trying to get into the channel for Robledo. Good work by Van Horn to keep her position. Dumps it for Mazalewski, who has a rough touch on that one. It's going to be claimed out wide on the right side by Sanchez, but her first touch is too heavy and carries it out for a throw. Lozano to take it. So best I can tell, looking at the defense put out here by Coach Cheryl Owisny, we're looking at perhaps 3 or 4 in the defense. Yeah, it appears to be a 4-woman defense. Maybe a 4-5-2. Still looking for who that last player is that I haven't identified. Plancarte able to hold on to that ball. Knocks it back to the 19, Topete. And DeAnza try to build comfortably from the midfield stripe. It's going to be the 20, Juarez working forward. One touch with Ramirez, and it's back to her. Ball forward for Madeline Kelly. She goes for a lob, looking for the run of Sanchez on the right side. DVC try to organize themselves. Bustamante's available there in the interior. Here comes the cross from the corner flag, headed clear by Callie Goodman, and it doesn't matter because it's an offside flag as we prepare for our next substitution. I think that is, oh, nope, never mind. Maybe headed back to the bench for a moment. Oh, we do have, however, 2 substitutions coming in now, so that will be it for a moment for Probst and for Bustamante. And in comes the number 15, Gutierrez, and the number 11, Jenny Engwu. So that's Alejandra Gutierrez in for Probst, and Engwu entering the match as well. So ball controlled here at the back for DeAnza. Oh, look out. She's lost the ball, has Juarez, and Hannah Harris is onto it, trying to work it forward for JC again. The ball is launched, however, by the defense, cleared back as far as Elms, has a little bit of English on it. She's forced to settle that one with her chest. Goodman and Van Horn coming up to show for it. Oh, a bit of a hospital ball going for Van Horn. She's able to get around Robledo, though. Holds on to this. She's got an outlet with Callaway, but she instead knocks the ball forward and unfortunately does not get it to Mazalewski. It ends up with Sulma Plancarte. Yasmin Jaime, however, tracking back and trying to work the ball off of Plancarte. Plancarte is going to take a shot from about 20 yards away. Very central. Megan Elms has no problem with it. It does appear that a substitution is being prepared here for DVC. If I'm not mistaken, that's Taylor Rentuma getting loose. The goal kick is well settled by Marissa Barros back to Hannah Harris. Barros looking to defend here against Juarez. Working back and forth with Harris. Ball goes out into touch. And Mr. Goldberg, our assistant referee, indicates that it is a DeAnza throw-in for Alejandra Gutierrez. So Gutierrez to take it. Bodied up with Avery Van Horn is the number 6, Robledo. She's unable to settle. Gonzalez and Harris working to take it off of Ramirez. Gonzalez plays it off of Robledo, and it's a throw-in over here on the near sideline for the DVC Vikings. 1-0 the scoreline, 21 minutes, 10 seconds into the match. Comes the throw-in down the right sideline looking for Yasmin Jaime. Ball's cleared away for a moment, but only as far as Marissa Barros, about 30 yards from goal. Hannah Harris is going to knock this one way up in the air looking for Caran. Looks like Caran took a blow here from Evans. Evans! That was the one person I hadn't spotted yet. Hooray! The number 17, Ashley Evans, has just committed a foul, and it's going to be a free kick now. Hannah Harris lining up to take it from about 35 yards away, very central position. 2-2 are evened up on the fouls here between the two sides. Only one person in the wall. Harris looking to play this one in. Lofts it towards Flippin, a little bit too long. Had Goodman running at the back post for it. Looks like Caran or maybe Mazalewski working on the nearer zone. Flippin in the orange vest comes out to claim. So it occurs to me in all the hurry of getting this going, I haven't even bothered to paint a picture of what we're seeing here to you. DVC's in their all-white road kit with green numbers and a green DVC across the front. The number up near the left shoulder as well for each of the players. DeAnza is in an all-maroon kit with a few little white horns and flares on it. And it is DeAnza in the maroon coming up here as the ball's worked forward, looking for Robledo on a ball forward from Juarez. Callaway does well to claim it. She'll knock it back to Megan Elms. And Elms' clearance pops up. Caran looks like she might have gone head-to-head there with Evans, trying to control that ball. And it is recovered here as it goes loose back to Samantha Topete. Ball played forward here by DVC. You'll think Lozano. It's going to be recovered here by Ashley Evans. She works it forward looking for Ramirez. Callaway does well to cover that, though. So Victoria Ramirez unable to get good control of that ball, and it's knocked again back to Megan Elms. Elms in the all-black goalie kit. Brings forward that goal kick. It's controlled by Mazalewski after a couple of touches from DeAnza. Callaway is going to knock this one centrally towards the center circle. Knocked away by DeAnza. Brie Gonzalez trying to get onto it. Robledo got a touch, but it's going to be Yasmin Jaime taking it away. And Jaime is going to launch this one forward, trying to put enough English on it to get it to settle for Marissa Barros, but it's covered neatly by Topete and knocked all the way back to Alexia Flippin. Flippin will drive this one towards the right side, trying to get an outlet for her right back, Evans. It's recovered, however, here by the 11, Engwu. Engwu unable to resist the pressure of Daisy Lozano, and it's taken back again by DVC. But DeAnza able to work the ball quickly again off of defender, and it's Suma Plancarte who tries to play in the 15, the substitute Gutierrez. Hannah Harris intercepts, however. Ball worked forward from Mazlowski, and she is going to try to play in Marissa Barros down the left center. Controlled neatly by Evans, and knocked all the way back again to Flippin. DeAnza, it seems, maybe trying to put this game a little bit to bed here. They've had a few small attacks, but nothing quite as dangerous as what we've seen DVC put together down the right flanks. They've yet to really test Megan Elms except for on that free kick. Ball controlled by Dom Callaway, left for Avery Van Horn. He's got a little space. Goes 1-2 with Brie Gonzalez, back to Van Horn, controls with the shin. Nice cut back to avoid Robledo, but the drop back for Callaway is a hospital ball, and Callaway actually traps it as she slides, and at the very least holds play up to let three defenders come in and help out against Engwu. Engwu, however, trying to play in Sanchez on the right side. Well defended by Daisy Lozano, and she'll play it out for a DeAnza throw from about 2 yards away from the corner flag. One 0 the scoreline here. About 20 minutes to go in this first half. The throw in is going to be dumped back now for Sulma on the right side. She tries to get into the box, crosses, and it looks like she got it with the outside of her boot, and it hooked, or maybe more accurately, sliced on her, and wound up outside that near post defended by Megan Elms. So it'll be a goal kick after the substitutions. So two more subs coming in for DVC. Ashley Scannell makes her debut as a Viking in place of Marissa Barros. And it is Taylor Rentuma, who was warming up a moment ago behind me, and she has entered for, I think it's Julia Caran, the goal scorer. So she'll get a little break, get the plaudits from her teammates for opening DVC's account in the 18th minute. 1-0 on the Caran strike. The ball taken away by Harris right now from the number 18. She plays it quickly ahead, looking for the run of Scannell. Out comes Flippin, and she'll be forced to clear from outside of her own box. It was, I believe, Plancarte that lost that one. The clearance is settled by Van Horn and held by Brie Gonzalez under the pressure of Victoria Ramirez. Bree drops this one back looking for Callaway. A little bit of pressure coming from the number 11, Eng Wu. Nothing doing though. Ball work forward for Scannell. Heavy first touch, but it's going to fall kindly to Bree Gonzalez. Drop back for Van Horn. Comes a little pressure from Robledo, but she'll work it forward here. Touched by Hannah Maslewski in the center circle. Nice little touch to work around Plancarte. Tries to dump it down the right wing for Hannah Harris. Can she get to it before it goes out of play? Hannah, no, she cannot. Just a little bit too long. One Hannah trying to play through to the other. So it's a goal kick for Alexia Flippen and the DeAnza Dons. 27th minute here again to sum up. For the most part, nice work by the DVC Vikings. They've generally had the bulk of the possession. They've certainly had the bulk of the attacking chances, particularly down the right wing, first with Chavez and then with Hannah Harris, but it was in fact Julia Caran, who's been out there on the left, not seeing a whole lot of the ball, who took full advantage of her first real opportunity. Ball's played forward here by Hannah Harris off the goal kick, but cleared away now by DeAnza. Goodman with a header, unable to settle the ball. Plancarte onto it, and she turns her back to Maslowski. Here's the ball nudged forward. Player looked like she might have been in an offside position with Sanchez, but she's able to get onto the ball. Here comes Sanchez trying to burn Lozano. She's forced to cut back and run in reverse. Drops it for the number 11 Eng Wu, who cannot settle. Callie Goodman takes it away, and it's DVC trying to build again. Ball played centrally here for Maslowski. Leaves it for Lozano. One touch looking for Yasmin Jaime. A little imprecise. Excuse me, that wasn't Lozano. That was the newly inserted Taylor Rentuma. Excuse me. The ball still controlled, however, by DVC. Callie Goodman up ahead for Hannah Harris. Cleared by the number 15, Gutierrez, but all the way down to Megan Elms. So Elms claims it. Ball up ahead for Callie Goodman. Goodman will work this one forward here, looking for Yasmin Jaime, but she didn't have enough time on the ball there. Jaime does get it back after a bit of hard work by Maslowski, and she's going to put this one into the channel down the left wing for Taylor Rentuma. Big opportunity here. Scannell running through the middle. Here's the ball in for Ashley Scannell, and she can't quite coordinate herself to get to it. She was definitely held off by that center defender, I think the 19, Topete. Speaking of 19s, our 19, Avery Van Horn, has just taken the ball back here on the near sideline, just behind midfield. Drops it to Callie Goodman, who's brought it forward for Hannah Harris. Unfortunately, plays that right into the feet of Madeline Kelly. She tries to go back and forth with Gutierrez, but it's robbed immediately by Bree Gonzalez, lurking a little further forward. There's the ball ahead for Scannell. Scannell touches it around Topete. Scannell! Flippin' pushes it aside on the rebound. Goal! Taylor Rentuma! 2-0. Very nice garbage work there in the 29th minute, just following the save by Alexia Flippen. And it's two newbies getting their first tallies in green and white. First it was Karan in the 18th, and now it's Taylor Rentuma cleaning up the garbage after Scannell forced a very difficult save out of the goalkeeper Alexia Flippen. Ball controlled here by DeAnza. They are certainly in a little bit of trouble. 30th minute right now, quarter of an hour left, and DeAnza, I think, will be hoping to maybe get one back, but if nothing else, just simply weather the storm. Ball played through the center, little diagonal, Callaway able to cut it off. Control by Maslowski, who has done some very fine work, avoiding defenders and skipping around people just to create some opportunities up front. It's Lozano about to take the throw in. Daisy with the throw in for Scannell. She tries to flick it over her back for Yasmin Jaime, who's off to the races here. Jaime's gotten behind the defense. What will she do? Crossing in for Harris. It's a little bit too close to the goalkeeper, Alexia Flippen, and she will claim. Jaime, as we mentioned, a advanced midfield position. There are a host of substitutes planning to come in. Looks like 3 preparing themselves. Looks like Polini, maybe Vasquez. I can't tell if that's the 9. And the 16, Renteria. Ball controlled at the back by DeAnza, but it's touch and go stuff as the number 15, Gutierrez, plays the ball forward. Knocked back well for the run of Sluma Plancarte. Plancarte working here. Nice ball, just beating the offside trap is Robledo. Heidi Robledo has to chase it all the way to the byline, and in fact, she was judged offside. It looked like she might have held her run long enough, but according to the assistant referee on that far sideline, Mark Schreck, it's offside and a free kick for DVC, and we'll take it. So again, summing up, goals of the 18th from Julia Caran as Marissa Barros prepares to re-enter the match. Goal from Julia Caran in the 18th. The double by Taylor Rentuma. 11 minutes later, and we are here just past the half hour, and it's a 2-0 DVC advantage. Ball popped up in the air here off of the goal, or off the free kick, by the 18, Callie. After a couple of touches, it ends up on the foot of Yasmin Jaime, who tries to dump it into space for Scannell. It's a little too heavy. Topete able to claim it. Here's the ball back for Flippin. Look out for the pressure of Rentuma, who wants another. He tasted so good the first time. Lozano able to claim the ball after the Flippin clearance and does not earn a throw. It looked like she might have played it off the defender. Here come the substitutes, and may have mentioned at least in the interview earlier that there's basically substitution anarchy in community college soccer. You can do it as much as you like. So in comes the 16, Renteria, the 21, Crasweller, and the number 8, Polini. Barros back into the match, and it is Brie Gonzalez coming out, so it looks like Hannah Harris might be slipping back into the midfield to cover that ground. Or possibly Taylor Rentuma, who is officially listed as a midfielder/forward. So the match official here, Andrew, I believe it's Andrew Miller. Did I get that right? Alex Miller, whoops. He brings action back into motion here, and it's a nice bit of work by the 18, Madeline Kelly, to touch it away from a defender, but well done by Marissa Barros to challenge and take it back off of that midfielder. Dumped back to Dom Calloway, a little bit of pressure. Megan Elms is going to come a few yards outside of her own box to knock that one deep. Polini and Mazalowski clamoring for it. Actually goes over both of them. Rentuma trying to claim. It's going to fall to Mazalowski over by the far sideline. Working her way down the left flank for DVC. Takes a touch off of Sanchez, and it will be a throw-in over there. Far sideline, about halfway between the midline and the byline right now. .34th minute of action right now as the throw-in is quickly taken away by DeAnza and worked back. Look out here. Oh my goodness, a dump off by Gutierrez nearly became disastrous. Hannah Harris still working on it against 3 DeAnza players, and looks like she's gotten it away now. Works essentially for Yasmin Jaime, who will take her time with it. Dumps back to Marissa Barros. Barros centrally for Mazalowski, maybe not quite well enough calibrated, but Mazalowski able to deal with it. Leaves it for Avery Van Horn, and Scannell is screaming for it. There's the ball for Scannell, goes over her head just barely, pops up in the air from Sanchez's hit, and Rentuma unable to settle it, but it will go out for a DVC throw, maybe 10 yards from the far sidelines corner flag, left side of the DVC attack. So thus far, domination by the Vikings, both in their general possession and certainly in the scoreline. Caran and Rentuma. Taking a quick pause here as we wait for the ball to be brought back in. It went over the restraining fence here. So from where we're sitting, this field's got a nice view actually of a quarry across the way in Black Mountain. Throw in here is quickly worked forward for Taylor Rentuma, tries to put it into the box for Hannah Harris. Harris able to take it away from a defender, tries to get herself around it and take a shot at the near post. Can't quite get enough on that, and it will be a goal kick for DeAnza. So Lizzie Chavez preparing to re-enter the match. Unclear whether Mr. Miller motioned her back in just yet. Yeah, there it is. So Lizzie Chavez coming back in on the right side. Hannah Harris, some valuable work. She got things started by holding that ball in and dropping it into the center for Mazalowski's control that led to Caran's early goal. Some nice work by her. As soon as she was brought in off the bench, DVC got themselves on the board. So can't do much worse than that, or excuse me, much better than that shift. You could do worse, is what I wanted to say. Yasmin Jaime trying to get a touch to the goal kick. Settled here by the 21, Crasweller. Brought down now in the center circle. Marissa Barros does well to avoid the pressure of Plancarte and touches it back to Van Horn. Now Calloway. Calloway trying to run her way diagonally over to the right side. Calloway's got a little bit of pressure coming from the number 11. Dumps off to relieve it to Avery Van Horn. No touch coming there from Jenny Engwu, and it goes out for a DeAnza throw. Here's Gutierrez, popped up in the air by the number 10, Plancarte, and settled by Calloway. Calloway plays it out. Did it take a touch from Plancarte? Does not appear to have done so, and the referee, Mr. Miller, is going to award the throw-in from about 20 yards away, near sideline, right in front of me here. Alejandra Gutierrez brings the ball in, quickly touched away by Yasmin Jaime. doing a lot of hard work there, even in the defensive end, despite that advanced midfield position. It is taken away, however, by DeAnza, trying to dance on that offside trap. It's Polini, worked back now, and it's going to be Ramirez to take a shot. Elms asks for calm as it fizzes over to the left of her goal, and it is a goal kick for the Vikings. I believe we've entered the final 10 minutes. Yes, in fact, we're in the 37th right now, nearing the halftime whistle. It's a 83-degree day here in Cupertino. A little cooler than it is in Pleasant Hill, but still not exactly brisk. Long ball comes from Megan Elms. Knocked down here by the DVC defense. It's a sliding attempt from Madeline Kelly to try to hold possession, and it does the job here as the number 16 has brought it out to the 15, Gutierrez. Touch with the outside of the boot, manages to hold the ball in play, but she can't get it through the legs of Van Horn, who takes it away and works her way up the right. Ooh, kicked it right into the back of the feet of Lizzie Chavez. Goes out here, a challenge between Gutierrez and Van Horn. It will be Gutierrez with the throw in here. We do have another substitution coming. It's going to be Hannah Mazaleski coming out for Brie Gonzalez. And so we'll wait for a moment here. Alejandra Gutierrez is going to take this one in just a few moments. Quite a battle she started with Avery Van Horn, the DVC number 19. Here is the throw in, and advancing up the field is Victoria Ramirez. She gets a couple of good touches. It falls to Jenny Engwu after a touch from Callaway. Engwu does well to touch it around Callaway, but her shot is drifting left and out for another DVC goal kick. Just 7.5 minutes roughly to go in this first half, plus maybe a minute or two for the substitutions that we've seen. Certainly have kept funneling in new legs throughout. So Elms puts it into place here. Again, recapping goals in the 18th by Cailin, 29th by Rentuma. DVC doing very well with that first set of substitutes that came in, contributing immediately to the cause. There's the goal kick by Elms, still a little shy of midfield. Nice job by Rentuma to spot Van Horn with a lot of space. She works it forward looking for Scannell, who can't get the right touch to it. It hit off of her heel. It doesn't actually matter because she was offside anyway, a few yards across the midfield stripe. So it'll be a free kick for DeAnza. Don's preparing to take it here with number 19. As I shuffle my papers around here to figure out who's who. Free kick from the number 19, Topete, is all the way through to Callie Goodman, who pops it up in the air. Taken away here by Don Callaway. Plays it nicely off of her thigh, and off she goes now to the right side. We'll see if she's going to try to attack. Chavez is trying to overlap, and nice lob ahead. She's got Chavez and Scannell. It's going to unfortunately be Topete, though, that gets to it at the right corner of the box first and drops it back to Alexia Flippin. It was a good idea, but she maybe needed to hit it with the outside of her boot to curl it towards Chavez. Instead, it bent in towards Scannell, and unfortunately, the center back, Topete, for DeAnza. Goal kick is headed forward by Marissa Barros. Topete again forced to clear her lines. Chested down for a moment by Lozano. One touch from DeAnza and a swing and a miss as Barros tried to nudge that ball forward. Victoria Ramirez trying to bring it down the line. It gets by the outstretched leg of Lizzie Chavez and all the way to Alejandra Gutierrez. Here comes Gutierrez trying to play it through Chavez. Ends up with it coming to Callaway, and it's going to be cleared away by Dom. Ball actually remaining here in play and has to be claimed by the 21, Crasweller. Here is Gutierrez on the ball here. The cross coming in at the top of the 18. Goodman trying to close it. Engwu got to it as well. We'll see who got the last touch. It was indeed Jenny Engwu, and so it will be a throw-in for DVC deep in the defensive third, and it's going to be Cailin Cunningham entering the match for Avery Van Horn. Cunningham, an interesting situation here. She is was listed up until a few days ago on the roster simply as a goalkeeper. She was meant to be either second or third in command to Megan Elms, but she's got some experience as an outfield player, and with the emergency they've had in defense is being pressed into duty. So instead of the 00 she was originally given, she's wearing number 5 and playing right back. Her throw-in nearly sprung Yasmin Jaime on a bit of a run, but it was taken away by Crasweller and immediately cleared as far as Megan Elms. Elms with the arms is going to throw it to the left side for the left back, Daisy Lozano. Lozano wearing the 11. She was originally listed as number 23, but she's now the number 11 here, so Les Jordan, more of an attacking sort of number really, but we'll see how that comes to pass. Callie Goodman, the 13 on the ball. Lozano manages to touch it around the diving Polini, Cassandra Polini. Ball played out, however, by Lozano for a throw-in on the far sideline. It's DeAnza taking it from very near the midfield stripe. throw-in is only as far as Ramirez, trying to get herself turned. Unable to do so. The ball's taken away without a foul by Jasmine Jaime. Cleared away, however, by Topete. And the bounce has fooled Callie Goodman, and it's going to get over her head for Bustamante. Dumps it back for the 23, Probst, newly back into the game. Here's Probst. Centrally, here's a quick little touch with the outside of the boot. It comes free for Bustamante, trying to get onto it. Goodman able to touch it away. Settled by Bri Gonzalez at the top of the 18, and she brings it forward now. It's the number 18, Madeline Kelly, who's on it. Madeline Kelly, one of the few players on the field for DeAnza that's actually scored a goal for DeAnza before, due to the same sort of hemorrhaging of people that we've had here at DVC. Yasmin Jaime quickly ahead now for the speed of Lizzie Chavez. Look out here for the 3-on-3. Chavez on it. She's got Scannell as a runner. Chavez enters the 18 from the right. Step over. Here's the cross. Oh! Nearly ended up being a shot. Rentuma trying to close, but she can't keep her shot or cross down, and it's into the netting behind the goal. Lizzie Chavez's cross, it was hard to tell exactly what it was. It looked for a moment like it might actually find its way into the side netting on the opposite side of the goal. Flippin made a dive for it. Rentuma latched on, but she was unable to keep her follow-up cross settled. And here's another substitution, Julia Cailin entering in place of Ashley Scannell. 43rd minute right now, so just a few minutes to go here in this first half. And it will be a goal kick in a few moments for Alexia Flippin. That ball may be lost and gone forever behind that fence, so needing to snag one from the DeAnza bench. So today it looks like, in the absence of Coach Mullins, we'll try to find out exactly why she is unable to be here today, but it is Matt Kendall and Julio Borge running the ship, and so far so good. 2-0 the scoreline as we near the final few minutes of the first half. Flippin now finally ready to take the goal kick. Launched forward, Cunningham actually settles it here for DVC. It comes free for a moment, Topete clears. Callaway fighting with the 23 Probst to try to get onto that ball. Taken away again by Caitlin Cunningham. I'm sorry, excuse me, it was Caran that settled that one earlier, the 6, not the 5. Chavez does well to touch that one around the defender, Crasweller. Recovered, however, by Renteria. And the clearance is only going to go as far as Lizzie Chavez, and her first touch settles the ball neatly. She rolls it into space looking for Jaime. Ends up with Topete. Clearance rattles around. Bri Gonzalez gets ahead to it. It's now Barros to settle. Back to Caitlin Cunningham, running her way up, and she absorbs a smack from the number 23, Probst. That is Stephanie Probst, the number 23, who has just committed a foul. Looks to be the third, I believe, of the game for DeAnza, 2 for DVC. Yet to see a corner kick. Handful of free kicks. This one is from about 5 or 6 yards across midfield toward the right side, this near sideline, as Suma Plancarte seems to be readying a return to the field after having been substituted out earlier. And the referee needs a quick word just to sort out that personnel issue. It's going to be Callie Goodman to take this with the right boot. Hands up, now hands down. Caran moving in the box along with Jaime and Gonzalez. Here's the ball played in, settled off the legs of Gonzalez. Trying to get onto it is Caran. Gonzalez gets back to it and is falling as she whips the ball towards Lizzie Chavez. Did it take a deflection? No. So it'll be a throw-in on this near sideline in the defensive area for DeAnza. 21 Crasweller overshoots her intended target, and it's claimed by Cunningham. One touch from Lizzie Chavez knocks it into space in the middle for Bri Gonzalez. Unable to find her intended target either. It's claimed by the number 11, Jenny Engwu. Daisy Lozano working her way forward, trying to take it off of the midfield. Claimed by Cassandra Polini. And Lozano looks to have committed a foul, so that'll be the third of the game there for DVC. And a free kick for DeAnza as we near the 45th. In fact, we've just struck 45, so anytime here, a little bit of bonus soccer. We await the double whistle, that whistle that you might have heard in the microphone coming from another field, I believe. So we'll see how much time is added on for stoppages. Lozano settles the free kick, however, nicely. So she brought it into existence and then brought it out of existence. There is the double whistle. We have reached halftime, and it is a 2-0 DVC advantage. Goals from Caran in the 18th and Rentuma in the 29th. Welcome to Vikings Soccer Rewind Halftime. Joe Hickey back with you here in the year 2020. Hoping you enjoyed that quick start to the 2014 season. A pair of first half goals from Curran and Rentuma giving the Vikes a 2-0 advantage. We're joined now by two players you've been watching in action for the past 45 minutes, center forward turned center back Callie Goodman, and impact substitute Taylor Rentuma. Thanks for taking the time out to be with us today, ladies.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
Now, we'll start here. What, if anything, do you remember about the game that we're watching today?
I just remember getting really excited for corner kicks so I could go up and be a part of the action in front.
That's right, because this was the first day of a position change for you. Is that right, Callie? Kind of came on suddenly.
Yeah, I had trained kind of all off season in summer for the center forward striker type for our 4-3-3. And I had a small heads up I might be needed as one of the center mids, but it wasn't until team selection and after tryouts that we found out one of our key defenders wouldn't be returning and I would need to fill her place. So a bit of a shock, but we made it work, and overall it was a great season.
And certainly something that would become a bit of a theme for DVC going forward. I believe you were an all Big 8 selection that year, and year after that we took a recruited goalkeeper, stuffed her into the center back position, and she went all NorCal in Cailin Cunningham. Taylor, for you, this was your debut as a college player, is that right?
Yeah, it was. It was honestly the most exciting yet scariest thing I've ever experienced. I was so anxious to get out on the field and to play, but it was just scary because, like, okay, this is it. This is your big debut, and just wanted to see how it went.
And do you have any recollection about how long you were on the field before you wound up putting a ball in the back of the net?
No, honestly, I don't even remember how long I was in. And even watching that goal now, it's like, wow, that happened. It's something that I didn't expect, but I was just there at the right time for.
Now, what has life held for each of you over these last 6 years? We'll start with Taylor on this one. What have you been up to?
Well, I have been a new time mommy to this lovely little girl here who will hopefully one day, pick up some cleats and shoot a couple goals in the future. But that's been my biggest accomplishment, I would say, over the last 6 years. And I am now a full-time esthetician as well.
So I think you posted something on Facebook recently on your story of you showing her some of your highlights. I was thrilled that it was archived the way it was.
Yes, I have played that video at least a dozen times for my boyfriend, for her, just kind of reminiscing on the old days of, just being in the green jersey, I guess. And
Callie?
After DVC, I went on and got my bachelor's degree from UC San Diego. Played a little bit of intramural indoor-outdoor soccer for them, and actually played with former teammate Kelsey Catania down there. And since then, I've been doing flight school. I'm training to be a pilot, so it's fun and exciting stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, in later seasons of DVC soccer, I took to asking this question during the sophomore interviews. Basically, what did you think was going to be your chief memory 5 years down the road about having played for DVC? And the cool thing about doing this project now is that's not a hypothetical for anybody anymore. I really get to get the answer. So maybe starting with Callie, what is it if somebody says the word Vikings to you, what's the first thing that pops to mind?
A couple things, but the most prominent thing would be the friendships I've made and still have today. I'm close with a couple teammates still. But another thing is some memories from actually playing. I think beating, it was CRC for the first time in a while. That's a huge one and such a fun game to play in, and just the celebration afterwards. And then I think something I'm really proud of is my 35-yard goal or something against Lake Tahoe.
Before Tahoe takes over and finds DVC exposed, she does so, gives it to Goodman, who herself is now running up into attack, takes a touch from Jaime. Callie Goodman's going to drive from distance! Goal! From 35 yards away, these women are going to make me a horse. Callie Goodman!
That goal was so awesome. Just unbelievable.
So how about for you, Taylor? 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road, what is it that that most stands out for you?
I mean, similar to Callie, just how do I put this? But when I think of Vikings or when I think of, the green and white uniforms, it brings me back to really developing as a player with Coach Mullins. She's a great coach and she taught me a lot about myself on and off the field, which kind of shaped me into the path I've gone into, as far as just being a human. But definitely thinking about all the great times with you, Joe, and your bright pink shirt and just making sure you'd wear it every single game day. That was the highlight of everything surrounding DVC soccer. But yeah, I definitely think I just loved, the community that we built, from the coaches to the players to you. It was just a really great group of people that made the experience so amazing. And anyone who decides to put on that uniform is lucky,
So I'd intended to tell the two of you what the first thing that popped into my head was, thinking about each of you, and you've mostly pipped me to them, because I was going to say with Callie, the first thing is just, and again, it's that community that Taylor was referring to. I remember the surprise I had when I got the same experience I used to in high school when I would do stats for lacrosse or football, and the team would kind of decide, oh, you're one of us. You belong to us now, and you're with us. And the way that particularly you and Callie and Avery and Megan Elms really kind of welcomed me into the fold. I did not expect that at the age of 33. It made sense to me when I was, in class with these guys back in high school, but it was a whole other amazing thing. And then 1B with Callie was the goal from Lake Tahoe, which just about broke me as a commentator. And then, yeah, I have it right here. I made sure of having it. So the Taylor Rentuma pink shirt is a fun story. I got this right after the first October game, because I used to wear my teaching outfit to the Tuesday games. And I was like, well, I need to have something pink now. So I got myself one of those, got a pink dress shirt. And I think the first time I wore it, Taylor scored her first goal since the one that you just saw on this broadcast. Yeah. And so she demanded that I continue to wear it. And as my mother and my wife will both tell you, I am preconditioned to take orders from brown-haired women about a foot shorter than me. So I was all about that, and I wore it basically every game since. I also wore it for the highlight video that I made later, complete with a caption that said, "Taylor Rentuma made me wear this shirt." And I followed that up more recently when I made my debut on SoCalCollegeSports.com. I was calling the state semifinals. And I, on the first day of it, wore that shirt. And I was like, I'm bringing along my first team with me in some way, shape, or form. And it was a neat full circle thing, too, because it was the same field that this game was played on. It was in Cupertino at DeAnza. I went over to my spot and just kind of sat there for a little bit and thought, wow, how cool is this being back here where it all began? And yeah, you never forget your first team. And it was really a pleasure calling games for you two and for everybody else on that club.
I just want to let you know, like, for me, that pink shirt, it didn't only represent, that one goal, but that was, I believe, my first game back after being injured with my hip flexor.
Oh, that's right.
So that was just like the staple. That's how I always remember, like, that was my biggest comeback, is because you wore that shirt and just, made a very scary day, just more colorful, you just made it a lot easier, a lot more comfortable for me, and then just stuck to it. And I've had to explain this to my family and anyone who watches this video of, the Taylor Rentuma made me wear this. I had to explain this. So I just wanted you to know too. It's very meaningful to me as well.
Well, now you've got a video that lays out the whole story. No one will ever have to wonder again.
Exactly.
And it's a scream too, because it means that literally you are the member of DVC soccer that I probably think about most frequently, because I see that shirt every time I open my closet door. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, Taylor Rentuma, pink shirt. Yeah. So,
That's the Taylor shirt, yeah.
yes, indeed. Well, before we head out, do you have any shout outs you'd like to do for any of your old teammates or coaches that might be watching here?
Definitely a shout out to old teammates and some of my best friends, Megan Elms, Avery Van Horn, Kelsey Catania. They're all doing big things. Abe's doing cool veterinary lab research, and Megan and Kelsey are essential workers in the nursing realm, and cool, they can be helping out during these weird times. Coaches, if you guys are watching this, Coach, you're awesome. Alex, you too. Hope you never stop loving Calvin Harris. And Matt and Julio, thanks for always believing in me and gassing me up. They both really helped with my confidence as a player, and had a substantial effect on me. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to learn from you all. And Joe, I'll always remember your positive attitude and enthusiasm for the game. And I still get to witness it like all the time reading through your Twitter. So, yeah.
All right, Taylor?
Oh, I mean, thank you to everyone. Like, shout out to the whole Vikings family, honestly, from coaches. I miss every single coach. Definitely will always have a big place for Jorge, who is such an amazing person, an amazing human being, even when, you know, he was going through some really tough times. You know, I appreciate him always bringing us up. And shout out to all my captains. I mean, Callie included. I think I felt the most comfortable with all of our captains, you know, from Elms, from Avery, Callie. I mean, you guys were awesome as far as leading us into the season and just being there for the team on and off the field, and just making sure like we are giving our 110%. And I mean, thank you to Coach as well. She, you know, Coach, if you're watching, you know, you're amazing, you're awesome. And, you know, hopefully once, you know, this world is a little less hectic, we can all get back on the field together and have a great time.
All right, well, Callie, Taylor, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to catch up with you. You've already seen Taylor tally her first goal as a Viking in the first half. Spoiler alert, you're going to see a bunch of Callie in the second. That's where we're headed, back to Cupertino. DeAnza DVC, Vikings up 2-0 as we begin the second 45. Excuse me, the number 10 Plancarte as the whistle goes, and we are back underway here in the second half. Ball not quickly back to Madeline Kelly. It's also Ramirez as well as... Goodness, heaven help me. Juarez over on the far right side of that midfield, and the number 3 Bustamante up front. So the ball in control is now controlled by DVC. It's Lizzie Chavez on the right side, served by Mazleski. She's used her speed to get through, crosses it, gets around one player. Here's Marissa Barros, the shot! Goal! All of 29 seconds in, and it's Marissa Barros! Well, that just about settles that. DVC wanted to get in and run and try to defend this advantage, and there's no defense like a good offense. Marissa Barros served beautifully by Chavez's cross. It just did nudge its way over the head of the number 16 Renteria, who, my mistake, she is apparently in this match a little bit unexpectedly there. I thought that it was everybody that was in at the start, but she was definitely not a starter. Back there in the center of the defense with the 19 Topete, and she was unable to get ahead to that. It fell on one hop to Barros. She took it first time and drilled it past Alexia Flippin at the right side of the goal. DeAnza needs something now badly, and they're going to try to work it forward here through Plancarte. Deflection from Goodman, but it comes free. It looks like to Bustamante. Trying to turn. It's Plancarte. Plancarte! What a save by Megan Elms! Diving to her left and pushing it around that post. First real bit of action that Elms has had here. She's had to catch a few long balls and watch her post very carefully on a few shots that were off target, but she comes up huge on that one to keep DeAnza from changing the momentum of this game right out of the gate. It's the 18 Madeline Kelly to take the first corner kick of the game from the right side. DVC bench enjoying themselves right now. So it is a bench that thankfully is a quite long one here as Kelly puts the ball into the 18-yard box. Whistle from the referee. And that is a foul in attack there, and so it will be a free kick for the DVC Vikings, 4th foul of the game against DeAnza. So it is thankfully a rather long bench. As Coach Mullins said in our interview, she's not sure yet whether it's a deep bench, whether there's a lot of quality on there that's going to be able to contribute huge minutes. But it's a good thing it's a long bench because there are a whopping 5 players unavailable for today's game off of the 24-person roster. The ball comes forward. Lizzie Chavez playing this one into space. Marissa Barros trying to run onto it, but she's not quite as fast as Topete tracking back. She'll dump this one back to Flippin. The sophomore goalkeeper getting around it. Pops it over to the 21. Crasweller also in. She was not one of the starters. My apologies. Crasweller floats this one up, and it's over the head of Ramirez and nicely into her feet. So Ramirez running through the center circle. She's dusted Brie Gonzalez. Tries to put this one into space for the run of the 23, Probst, who's lifted now into a forward position from her original starting role as, I believe, a left back. Elm's able to claim it, however. No real danger there. Ball lifted forward quickly. The number 21, Crasweller, able to bring it down. Kelly trying to get onto it for DeAnza. Defended neatly and then given to Kelly by the number 10, Plancarte. Here is Kelly, unable to get the ball forward because the pressure of Mazalowski has snuffed that out immediately. Mazalowski looking down the channel now for Marissa Barros. She's not quite going to be able to beat Topete to it, but Topete doesn't really have any outlets, and she's going to play it out for a throw-in. DeAnza looking a little gassed at the moment and a bit shell-shocked. They thought they were going to have an opportunity to fight their way back in, and within 30 seconds they find themselves down another goal. Mazalewski coming over here, the attackers letting DVC's remaining cavalry join them up here in the attack. It'll be Hannah to bring this one in. It's got Lozano nearby, bypasses her, going for Yasmin Jaime, tries to drop it back but is tripped over the ball. And it's recovered here by the 11 for DeAnza. Worked forward for Probst and dumped off into space for Plancarte, but Goodman able to get to it first with those bright yellow-green boots. Works it over to the right side for Chavez, who's forced to work all the way back and dump it for Megan Elms. Elms, the goalkeeper, leaving it now for Goodman in the center back position. Callaway has it taken off of her for a moment. It looks like by Probst, who's full of running, impressively so for somebody who was playing left back for most of the first half. Goal kick was popped up in the air there by the 11 Engwu. Now controlled by the number 6 Robledo. Left out wide to the left wing now for Ramirez. Ramirez tackled by, looks like Callaway, and that's going to be judged a foul and a free kick from the left wing. Just outside the box. So this one not exactly a corner kick, but they will send Madeline Kelly to take it anyhow. It certainly makes sense given her skill set. She has been taking, well, I would say has been taking the corner. She took the one corner we've seen, and she'll take this free kick. It's a 3-woman wall. Looks like the midfielders, Gonzalez, Mazalewski, and Jaime in place for it. It is Madeline Kelly waiting. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Dons forward. Only Topete and the goalkeeper flipping there. Here comes the ball in towards the far post. Headed clear by Lozano. Still alive in the box. The number 6 fires. Still alive. Headed off the line by Brie Gonzalez. No, excuse me, Goodman. There's the shot from distance. Takes a deflection. Elms was prone. But Kelly Goodman headed one off the line there. Not Gonzalez, excuse me. It's the taller of the two blondes in the middle of DVC's spine. And the ball's all the way back now to Alexia Flippin, who is screaming for her defenders to come meet her and provide her an outlet. Leaves it for the 16, Renteria. Popped up with a lob for Sanchez. Sanchez wings this one forward, looking for Probst, who brings it down with her back to goal, about 40 yards from goal. Callie Goodman using the big body to muscle her off. No foul given, and the ball is recovered here by Julia Caran. 1-2 with Jaime, maybe a handball as it came through Sanchez, but Caran's going to turn on the Jets and try to blow by Sanchez. She did for a moment, let her come back in. Sanchez lunges for it and puts it out about 5 yards away from the touchline, or excuse me, from the byline. So Caran going down to retrieve the ball. We'll see if she's going to be the one to execute the throw in here. At the near sideline, as we mentioned, DVC attacking the goal to my left, the south goal here. Throw in is quickly to Yasmin Jaime, crossed by Caran about 5 to 10 yards outside the box. Lizzie Chavez in pursuit in front of the 21, Crasweller. Crasweller does well to take it away from Chavez, but her touch takes the ball into touch. Out for a throw-in. Chavez quickly to take it. Gonzalez on it, and she knocks the number 10 Plancarte to the ground, and that will be a free kick here for the Anza Dons. 7 minutes into this second half, 3-0. The Vikings to the good here in their opening match of 2014. They come home tomorrow night to face the Lake Tahoe Coyotes, and certainly a final 30 minutes of just simply administering a 3-0 lead and just trying to nurse it to the finish line is exactly what they had in mind, considering they've got another 90 minutes of soccer to play tomorrow. Cassandra Polini coming into the match now as a substitute for DeAnza. Appears to be entering for the number 4, Victoria Ramirez. Here comes a throw-in for DeAnza. Knocked down with the high boot by Avery Van Horn. The ball out again into touch. It'll be a throw-in at the far sideline for DeAnza. Plancarte over to take that. So we have seen a few of the substitutes from the first half in the game. Renteria, Engwu, and now Polini. Crasweller as well. So a number of them stayed in, perhaps a little more satisfied with the late half performance than they were with the first half hour, but can't say much about that first 30 seconds of this second half. Marissa Barros on the score sheet for the first time as a DVC Viking. Here comes the throw-in from near the corner flag. The ball's popped up near the byline, shepherded by Callaway. It's going to go out for the second corner kick. No, excuse me, goal kick. No touch coming from any of the DVC players. Callaway did well not to nudge that one, and it's going to be a DVC goal kick for Megan Elms. So she runs over to fetch that ball and bring it back to her position. DeAnza not really doing the DVC Vikings any favors here. They figure, why not make Elms run? Maybe tired legs wouldn't have made that diving stop on the opportunity earlier. Certainly looked for all the world for a moment there like the number 6 Heidi Robledo was going to get one back just moments after Barros found number 3. Ball controlled at the middle of the field for a moment by Renteria off of the Megan Elms goal kick, but it's now settled by Bri Gonzalez, and Yasmin Jaime runs off of a tackler. Now has it knocked away and takes it away from Renteria. Trying to stay on side are Chavez and Barros. They do well to do so. The ball nudged forward into the box. Barros trying to run down the back of Topete. Can Topete keep it in play? No, she can. It's a corner kick, first of the day for the Vikings. It's going to be taken from the far sideline, and we'll get our first look at Lizzie Chavez taking over that role. So up come the Vikings, looking maybe for one final nail in the coffin so they can just simply sleepwalk a little bit to the finish on this one. Van Horn, Lozano, and Callaway stay back. Everybody else is up for the Vikings right at the top of the 18-yard box. Goodman certainly a target person to look for. Mazalewski's up there as well. And Yasmin Jaime is sitting right at the edge of the 6-yard box. Ball is played short, maybe a bit of a scheme. Mazalewski tries to play it into the feet of Jaime. She's onside. Goodman! Goal! Callie! Goodman! 4-0. We may cut some of the celebrations just a little bit short from here on out so as to not bug the DeAnza players here who are, well, let's face it, right near me. But here in the 11th minute of the second half, that is the 56th minute of this game in total, as we've got a substitution going on as well. Exiting for DeAnza is the number 19, Topete. Entering is the 17, Evans, who will pair up with Renteria in the middle now. But it's Callie Goodman getting on the end of that. Yasmin Jaime had a chance, was trying to turn. Ball got loose off of her. Goodman arrived and with her first touch drove it home. So scoring from a center back, how about that? So 4 goals for DVC, 4-0 goals, 1 each from Karan, Rentuma, Barros, and Goodman. Goodman the only one that actually had any tallies in green and white. She is in fact the leading returning scorer for the Vikings with 3 last season, and now she's got 4. Loose ball in the midfield is claimed by Daisy Lozano. Has a little bit of time, plays a 1-2 quickly with Jaime, but the ball's got a bit too much curve and comes right back to Sanchez. Kicked out of play here by Sanchez, out by the DeAnza bench. Which is just to the right side of midfield, and it will be a throw-in for DVC. Lozano preparing to take it. Here comes the throw. It's right into the chest of Sanchez, but touched away here by Cailin. Barros working it to Jaime. Jaime tried to put it into space for Cailin, but it's blocked out. We saw what she was looking for. It looked really pretty for a moment there. Recovered, however, at the midfield stripe by Lozano. Leaves it for Marissa Barros. Barros quickly into space looking for the run of Lizzie Chavez. It's still available. Flippin doesn't charge it. Chavez is going to have to keep it in play at the byline, however, and wait for the rest of the team to come around. It didn't hold up nicely enough for her to shoot. She's on it now, cuts it to her right, crosses to the near post, and it's right into the arms of Flippin. So 4-0, just what the doctor ordered here. We are at now the 57th minute of play, as Flippin drives this one deep. Got a whistle here as Lozano commits a foul on her opposite number, the 11, Jenny Engwu. We see Hannah Harris preparing to come in as well as a substitute. Ball whipped forward here on the free kick. Popped up in the air by Probst and claimed by Yasmin Jaime, who is running with a little bit of space on the left side. Here comes Jaime looking for Barros. Thought maybe about the heel flick. She's going to lay this one back to Daisy Lozano, however, here on the near sideline. Lozano's got a little bit of time on it. Brings it to Jaime, who settles it with the chest. Jaime, nice touch looking for Barros, who's whipped to ground by the 17, but both of them were kind of lunging for the ball, so no foul given. It's claimed by Madeline Kelly of DeAnza. Ball up ahead now for the 8, Polini. Cassandra Polini on it now, tries to cut her run to the center, actually forced backwards by the pressure of Brie Gonzalez. And it's back to the defensive line here with Renteria. As we mentioned, this is a team that just a scant 6 or 7 years ago was in the state Final Four. They won state titles twice in the mid-90s, back-to-back in 93 and 94, but have been on a downswing since 2009 as the long ball is covered by Callaway after going over the head of Goodman. Elms does not claim it. Last season, a season very similar to that of DVC, just a little bit more on the downswing. DVC scored narrowly, well, actually did score fewer goals than they gave up, but mainly that was conditioned by a 7-0 drubbing that they took at the hands of Fresno early in the season. Beyond that, DVC, in fact, conceded just 17 other goals over the year while scoring 23, about 1 a game. In terms of scoring, and held 10 clean sheets in 21 matches. Hannah Harris entering right now as a substitute, as is Bustamante for DeAnza. Barros and Crasweller out. So DeAnza taking out a fullback and putting in a forward, so a bit of an offense-minded substitution, and heaven knows that down 4-0 they need it. Last year's DeAnza team scored 26 goals, gave up 30, and even that is conditioned by having beaten Mission Santa Clara 8-0. Beyond that, they had a rather difficult season. Whereas DVC was getting blown out once in a while and winning all the close games, DeAnza was kind of doing the opposite, winning by blowout once in a while and losing a lot of close games. They were 26th in the power poll last year here in Northern California, DVC 14th, and so DVC was in the playoffs, albeit a short venture, losing to City College in the first round. DeAnza, on the other hand, was unable to participate, and they haven't been to the playoffs since 2009 when they were out in the first round as well. So a couple of substitutions made here. We've got a pause in play, not entirely sure exactly what's going on. Let me try to get a sense here. It does look to be a free kick, perhaps. I'm actually looking, I can't spot where the ball is.
Your touches are really good.
A stoppage in play as we await. Okay. Must have been a ball that actually went out of play, so they had to fetch one from the sideline for DeAnza. Excuse me for that. Took my eye off the action for just a little bit to try to tell you some stories here and keep a 4-0 game interesting, and, well, that'll teach me. Ball thrown in down the sideline toward Yasmin Jaime by the DVC Vikings. Van Horn tries to settle and hold on to it after the dump back to her. No dice, a foul committed by, I believe, Jaime or maybe Lizzie Chavez over there on that far sideline. Hannah Harris in for Barros moments ago here as the substitutions were made. Ball is controlled here at the midfield, and DeAnza trying to work something out. The number 6 able to play the ball forward into the channel there, Robledo, but nobody chasing after it. Definitely into the dregs of the game at the moment now. About a half hour remains in it, as DVC try to nurse a 4-0 lead into 3 points and a successful start to their 2014 campaign. Megan Elms claims the ball after Probst finally comes up to offer a little bit of pressure, and it will now be Elms to uncork a goal kick here. Long ball is claimed by the number 17 for a moment there, Evans, but now in possession of Plancarte. Yasmin Jaime putting on the pressure and does so nicely as she blindly turns the ball to Brie Gonzalez. Breeze on it now, working to the right side, trying to play in Chavez on an overlap. No such luck as the number 7 is able to claim that one. That is, number 7, that's interesting. Not on my roster. So that's a new player. We'll try to figure out who that is as we go along here. But in the meanwhile, DVC have possession of the ball. It's Daisy Lozano on it. Hannah Mazalowski sprung her down the left side. And Julia Karan sprung her down the left side. It'll be a throw in here as Lozano is able to play it off of the onrushing Bustamante. One quick touch by Jaime off the throw in. Lozano dribbling down the left side. Gets around the defender, but her touch takes the ball out for a DeAnza throw. Another substitution coming in as DeAnza looks for more fresh legs. It is the number 5. It's an interesting name, actually. Where is that? Han Nguyen Doan. I hope I'm getting that something resembling correct. So Doan in the number 5. Number 7 is likely one of the handful of players I had on my roster that do not have a number listed for them. So I think I'm going to pick one and just go with it. Yasmin Jaime with a one-touch pass after the ball in from Lozano. Can't find Karan. It's claimed by the defense. Brie Gonzalez, however, gets onto it near the center circle, trying to settle things for the DVC Vikings. Sort of a disjointed period of play, which I imagine my commentary right now is also getting across. Here's Mazalowski looking for Karan on the near sideline. Looks for the overlap as she came back inside looking to run forward, but it is cleared away by the number 17, Evans. Ball taken away by Bustamante from the pressure of Goodman and Lozano in the defense, however. Played forward a little bit imprecisely and claimed by Polini. Gets it to Plancarte, who steps nicely around Lozano and plays it out wide to the right side for Probst. Here comes Probst, barging into the 18-yard box, firing across Megan Elms to the far post and off target, thank heavens. Rough stretch of play right there. But DVC survives it. It will be a goal kick for Elms. And Karan calling for it over here by the near sideline as Elms gets ready to uncork this one. Nope, it's going to go over as far as Lizzie Chavez, who knocks the ball back into the midfield. Brie Gonzalez able to get to it under the pressure of Probst. She dumps the ball back to Callaway. Callaway trying to work her way through the midfield. Does nicely there. Steps around 2 defenders and is now dribbling forward. Gives it up to Jazzy Jaime, who's got an awful lot of space. Here comes Young One up ahead looking for JC Karan. Karan's by a defender. Karan top of the 18, driving to central, and Flippin is able to catch it in the air. Good opportunity though there. Karan dusting the defender, and we've seen it already once today. It led to the first goal. Wouldn't have minded seeing it lead to a 5th. 20 minutes gone here in the second half, 25 to go. DVC leading by a 4-0 scoreline. Goals from Karan, Rentuma, Barros, and Callie Goodman off the developments of the only corner kick of the match for DVC. Ball is out into touch on the far sideline for a DeAnza throw. Looks to be perhaps Renteria to take it, and the throw goes straight into the ground and right out of play. Whoa. Maybe it was an illegal throw, or something didn't look right in there. It appears they're allowing her to retake it.
No.
DVC preparing another substitution, perhaps? No, never mind. Barros is having a seat there, thought she was coming back into the game. Off the throw-in, ball popped up. Brie Gonzalez climbs over the back of a DeAnza player, so it's going to be a a free kick, I should say, for the Anza Dons. As they attempt to put a little something together here. They'd like to get off the schneid themselves for this campaign. DVC, for all the concerns about defense, have done very well to snuff out any opportunities we've seen. Goodman and Callaway have been a pretty decent pairing, and do await the return of Megan Coppa, who's expected to be available. She and Jackie Chavez both unavailable in the defense to go along with midfielders Isela Rodriguez and Kelsey Catania, who's serving as our statistician today. Oh, there's a loose ball out of the defense. Yasmin Jaime knocks it down. Worked forward here for Hannah Harris, trying to turn around a defender. Here comes Harris, whips the ball centrally, looking for Karan and Chavez. Whipped to ground is Jaime, nothing given. Ball through to Mazalowski. Her first touch almost put it past Sanchez and into the center of the box for herself. Callie Goodman able to claim the clearance and drop it back now to Daisy Lozano. who's looked reasonably comfortable back there, although curse of the commentator, as I say that, it's nearly bundled off of her by the number 3, Bustamante. Ball dropped all the way back now to Mazalowski, who has retreated a little bit. Gonzalez unable to hold onto the ball under pressure, but she comes back to try to take it off of Bustamante, and Mazalowski clears. Rough touch by Renteria, and the ball's carried towards the far sideline, but covered by the number 7, and I did say I was going to take a guess at who that is. I'm going to go for the easiest name to say. We'll call her Kelly Baxter. The number 7 over there is Kelly Baxter, at least for our purposes. It might be Ana Laura Cibaja, Valeria Garcia, or Tanya Perez, but I'm going to go with Baxter. Ball back in control for DVC. It's Daisy Lozano working here on the near sideline. Nearly turns Caran inside out, and she's unable to control it. So the ball comes out of play. It's going to be a throw in here for DeAnza, the number 2 Sanchez to take it. Popped up in the air by Bustamante. Foul committed by Daisy Lozano from behind, and Lozano, one of those players that plays with her sleeves rolled up, so very much a tough girl look, and certainly has been a bruiser in there. This is unofficial. I'm not keeping the statistic myself, but I would say I think she's committed the majority of the fouls in this game that DVC has been sanctioned with. Jazzy Jaime able to intercept a pass, and with the help of Callie, Goodman maintains possession, tries to bring it forward for Julia Caran, unable to hold on to possession. The ball played out for a throw, and it looks like Taylor Rentuma is about to come back into the match here as we're about halfway through the second period. Throw-in comes down the right sideline here for the number 23 Probst. One touch. Let's see, no touches from any DVC players, so it goes back to the Vikings, according to linesman Steve Goldberg over here. And in the meanwhile, we've got a substitution. Taylor Rentuma is going to leave the game, and in comes Lizzie Chavez. Or excuse me, other way around. Lizzie Chavez out, Taylor Rentuma in. So Rentuma already the author of a goal, cleaning up the mess left behind after Scannell put Flippin to ground with a shot that required a diving save. It's Madeline Kelly coming up here with the ball now for DeAnza. She's about 20 yards across the midfield stripe and now sprays it over to the right side for the number 8, Polini. Her ball toward the corner flag, looking for the run of Probst, is a little bit too long. It's going to go out for what appears to be a DVC throw very near the corner flag, so Lozano back to take that. Warming up now maybe for some of their first action of the day. We see Ashley Scannell and Marissa Barros getting ready, not their first action of the day. A handful of players we haven't seen just yet. Laura Aponte, Tanya Salmeron hasn't seen any action as yet. Might see something from Catherine Hafner potentially as well. Or maybe they're being saved to start tomorrow night. We'll find out. But a handful of other players still available on that bench, along with, of course, the players we wait to see who are out injured today. Capa, Catania, Chavez, Hebing, and Rodriguez. Lots of people to meet. Ball finally thrown in over here on the near sideline. Takes a touch from Jasmine Jaime, and it's out for a DeAnza throw here on the near sideline, about halfway into the attacking area. Sanchez with a long throw into the center. It's going to be headed by Jaime, knocked down here, and touched around a defender by Caran. Can she get around Sanchez after that? No. Sanchez able to play the ball out for a throw in near the midfield stripe, so DVC will put it back into play from here. 71st minute of today's match. 4-0 the scoreline. The green and white off to a rollicking start to 2014. Daisy Lozano with the throw in here, quickly hit by Yasmin Jaime, but a bit too hard. It goes straight out for a throw. And Sanchez being urged on by her teammates to get that ball back into play. They've got a ways back to try to fight, and only about 19 minutes plus stoppage to do it. Ball into the feet of Stephanie Probst. Probst trying to work her way around Mazalewski and Gonzalez. Got around the first, not around the second, but not legally did Gonzalez stop her. So it's going to be a foul committed by Brie Gonzalez and a free kick from about 10 yards in front of the center circle. Madeline Kelly to take it quickly. Here comes the ball looking into the 18-yard box, takes one hop, and after a quick touch, Megan Elms able to settle it into her arms. So no harm, no foul there. Well, there was a foul, but no harm, certainly not to DVC. 72nd minute, 4-0 the scoreline. Julia Caran defending against the pressure of Polini, able to dump it off to our own number 8, Mazalowski. Gonzalez has to turn around to get around a defender, but dumps it to a wide-open Daisy Lozano. Lozano touches it around Sanchez with a little fake, tries to put it into space for Cailin. It's a little bit too long, but she might still get there. Here she comes with the speed, might have the better angle. Hannah Harris also trying to work on Renteria. Renteria unable, maybe just able to keep the ball in play. We'll see what Mr. Schreck, the linesman on the opposite side, has to say. He says throw in from very near the corner flag. Just did manage to hold it in at the byline. So it'll be, no, not Hannah Harris. It's maybe Lozano coming up. Yeah, it's been called a throw-in. A little bit of confusion on this sideline as we thought for a moment Renteria had failed to keep the ball from going across that line. She did manage to punt it out on the side, but it was unclear whether that was all in vain. And the throw-in is immediately knocked out the back by Sanchez. Number 2, Teresa Sanchez, puts that one out into touch for a DVC corner. Just the second of the game. They scored off of their first one. Not directly, but Callie Goodman able to clean up the garbage after the ball got stuck in the feet of Yasmin Jaime for a moment. Here comes the corner kick from the left. Julia Caran to put it in. It's near the near post. And Flippin able to claim it before Hannah Harris could make her way to that ball. So nothing doing for DVC, but again, the goal right now just simply to carry this one to the 90th minute. Long drive from Flippin, immediately repelled by Brie Gonzalez, right back to the DeAnza number 1. Flippin in her orange jersey claims and drives it deep again. Polini able to settle it with one foot, knocks it back for Madeline Kelly, who pops the ball up in the air. Touched for a moment here by the number 5, DeWan, who puts it down the left wing, looking for the run of Probst, but Megan Elms out strong to claim that and punch it out into touch. And we've got a couple of substitutions coming in here now. For DVC, it's Ashley Scannell re-entering the match in place of JC. Scannell narrowly denied scoring goal number 2 before Rentuma punched in the rebound. Caran out. We'll see. Looks like Ramirez back in for DeAnza, as well as the number 12, Arroyo, seeing her first action of the match. It was Paula Arroyo. Looks like the 15, Gutierrez, and the 18, Kelly, out for now. And that may be it for them. Give some of the new players a chance to see some game action here before this first game is over. Ball played into the center without a whole lot of aim by DeAnza, and Callie Goodman clears it all the way into the attacking third. Out on the sideline. It will be a DeAnza throw-in, however. And over to take it, maybe Renteria. They'll give that up to the number 7, who I decided was Kelly Baxter. Though might be any number of people. Throw-in is down that left sideline looking for a teammate. Nothing doing. Baxter able to settle for a moment with the head, but Jazzy Jaime is intercepted. And as it's taken away from her, Brie Gonzalez able to get back onto it. She touches it around one defender. Gonzalez now has a little bit of space. Puts it in there for Scannell, who with one touch dumps it for Mazalowski. Trying to find Hannah Harris on the left side, looking for that Hannah-to-Hannah connection again. Nothing doing that time, but Lozano is able to take the ball, at least for a moment, off the number 12, Arroyo. And it's dumped all the way back to the defense to stop the attempted counterattack for the Anza Dons. Ball controlled for a moment by Probst. A lot of pushing and shoving over there as Taylor Rentuma tries to strap the ball off of her. They're saying a kick out by Taylor Rentuma, perhaps. Maybe somebody behind it, so I believe they've given a free kick. No? Okay, no, not a kick out. That might have been a card in that case. Oh! Aerial collision right there on the sideline between, I think, Polini. I'm trying to see, I think that might be Avery Van Horn, yeah. Like Avery Van Horn and Cassandra Polini rattling each other's fillings there as they went for that header. They both seem to be no worse for the wear. Not a head-to-head collision, but definitely an aerial one. So a throw-in coming from that far sideline. As we enter the final quarter of an hour, it is in fact the 77th minute right now. DVC conducting affairs quite nicely, up 4-0. Throw-in will be taken from over there, and in the meanwhile, I believe we might have a substitution coming in. No, not just yet. Throw-in is taken, and Brie Gonzalez is taking it away. Puts it into space on the right now for Taylor Rentuma. Rentuma quickly ahead, I think, hoping for a run from Scannell or from Harris, but was nudged as she went to kick that ball deep, and so it went a bit further than she intended. All the way to Flippin, who has now put the ball back into play on the right side of the midfield. Yasmin Jaime claiming after an imprecise touch from Arroyo. Her ball forward is blocked out by Sanchez, and it'll be a throw-in for DVC from the near sideline. Lozano coming up to take it. Lozano ready, indications being given by Matt Kendall, the coach. Ball forward is intercepted by Sanchez with the head, but played back out into touch over the head of Bustamante. And it will be another DVC throw as Daisy Lozano goes to retrieve the ball. Lozano just in front of the DVC bench to take this throw in. Down the sideline looking for Jaime. Touches it around the defender. Will it stay in for her? No. Tries to run as hard as she can, but the young legs of the young one not quite up to that task. Got a little more of that than she might have meant to, but it was a nice little flick to blow by that defender. I'm going to make a call. I'm going to say that 7 or 8 games from now, that stays in play, and she's got a cross coming in from there. Okay, meanwhile, we have another substitution, and I believe, based on look, I think it's Jenny Engwu coming in to play goalkeeper in place of Alexia Flippin. Thankfully, it's somebody with a really distinctive style, which is these tinted goggles that she's wearing. So she has come in to relieve Alexia Flippin, the goalkeeper. Hannah Harris receives this ball, played into the center for Bri Gonzalez. Out to the left for Lozano, screaming for it is Harris. She's onside. Here comes the ball down the left wing. She enters into the box from the left. Harris's low cross is a little bit too deep. Running back to retrieve it, however, and firing is Taylor Rentuma. Looking for a second. Played out here by Sanchez. So Rentuma was forced to run that one back from the far post. So it'll be Lozano to put this ball back into play with the throw-in. Here comes to Hannah Harris, right back to Lozano with the one touch. Her cross is blocked, comes back to Jaime. Jaime on it, trying maybe to dump back to Lozano. Now dances on the ball a little bit, goes by her, puts it into space. Can Harris get there before it's over the byline? I don't think so, nope. It's out for a goal kick for Jenny Engwu and the Anza Dons. Just a little over 10 minutes left in this one. 4-0, DVC comfortably in front. Again, recapping the goals in the first half by Julia Karan in the 19th to get things started. A rebound goal by Taylor Rentuma in the 29th. And then after halftime, very quickly, boom, boom. First one just 30 seconds in from Marissa Barros, and then Callie Goodman off of that corner kick. Ball taken away here, and it's going to be Daisy Lozano trying to work her way around the number 2, Sanchez. And the ball is cleared right here near me. More or less over my head. It'll be Lozano to take it after the substitutions are put into effect. So here is the number 24, which is Karina Acosta. She's entered now in place of Cassandra Polini. Avery Van Horn also out, and Caitlin Cunningham getting a blow here with about 10 minutes to go in this one. Scannell, very, very hard work to keep control of that ball. Tried to put it into space for Hannah Harris, but it was, in fact, Acosta able to close in on that. The long clearance is settled for a moment by the chest of Caitlin Cunningham. Unable to hold on to it. Bri Gonzalez against 2 defenders, able to get by one. The second one comes in. Nice charge by Callaway to take the ball away. And now pummeled down the right sideline looking for the run of Taylor Rentuma. Recovered, however, there by the 16, Renteria. And we are in now to the final 9 to 10 minutes of this match. A pair of substitutions coming now for the DVC Vikings. It's as though Marissa Barros is coming back in, and as is Isela Rodriguez, who I was led to believe might not be able to participate in this game. Apparently, all the issues they were having have been cleared up, so Isela Rodriguez, maybe the last person to make her debut today for the DVC Vikings. And they come in the place of Yasmin Jaime, who played a glut of minutes, put in some very nice hard work. Also Hafner getting ready to come in, and she's coming in place, I believe now, of... No, excuse me, Bri Gonzalez is the one out. Okay, so let's see if I can recap that there. It's Gonzalez out, Jaime out, Barros and Rodriguez in, and Hafner ready to make her debut as well after a few moments. Loose ball on the left side. Daisy Lozano running to try to get to it. The final touch, I believe, comes off of Bustamante. Nope, it's judged to have been Lozano, so they're going to give it to the Dons. Hafner awaiting her debut there, the number 17 on the sideline. There's the throw-in, knocked down by Hannah Mazalowski. Quickly knocked forward by Daisy Lozano, but there's nobody there really to run onto it. Harris was already pulled back to deal with the throw-in. Scannell and Rentuma a little bit too central to deal with that. Jenny Engwu, the drop kick from her own box, brought down by Mazalowski. She works her run centrally, brings it into the feet of Caitlin Cunningham, who sprays it forward, looking for Taylor Rentuma. It's going to be chased down by Renteria, however, the center back for DeAnza, and put into space now for Baxter. Baxter plays this one diagonally towards the center of the attacking third, cleared away by Callie Goodman, who looks like she's been there basically all her life, complete with scoring off of a set piece. 83rd minute here. DVC regaining possession again off of a throw-in. Played in centrally looking for the run of Harris, but a little bit imprecise there off the foot of Marissa Barros, and it's going, Acela Rodriguez, her first touch. And it's going back to DeAnza. Probst tries to settle with her back to the attacking players. Leaves it on the left for Baxter, who will again bring this for Acosta into the center of the attacking area. Goodman able to get up and take it away. Knocked back to Renteria. Scannell trying to put a little pressure on her. If we are struggling a little bit with some of the names and numbers at the moment, it's chiefly because of the fact that this field is oriented north-south, and so looking to the west across it, I'm basically looking right into the setting sun right now. So every now and again, it's going to be a bit of an adventure. Ball recovered here by Callie Goodman in the defense. She whips it forward looking for the central midfielders. It was taken for a moment by Ramirez, but taken off of her by Mazalowski. Acela Rodriguez unable to get quite enough control over that to work it through the midfield or find a teammate. Taken away by DeAnza for a moment, but Acosta has lost it, and Hannah Harris has picked up the garbage. Harris whacked to ground. They're playing advantage right now. Rodriguez puts it into the center looking for Scannell, trying to turn around a defender. Scannell working against that defender will now drop it all the way back to Daisy Lozano. So the foul will not be called. Lozano sees the pressure coming in from Arroyo. Works it to Hannah Harris here in the middle. Just in front of the center circle is Harris after a touch from Rodriguez. Now looking for the run of Taylor Rentuma. Can she get to the inside of Baxter? No, she can't. Baxter able to handle it, whips it forward looking for Probst, and Callaway will send it back the other way for the Vikings. Ball popped up in the midfield. Ramirez able to settle. Backtracking a little bit. Ooh, dangerous ball. Could have been taken by Scannell, but it does find Renteria. Barros able to intercept, and her touch puts the ball out on the far sideline for a DeAnza throw. And we are nearly at the final 5 minutes of today's encounter. 85th minute to be exact. The throw-in pops over the DeAnza players and is claimed by Caitlin Cunningham. Cunningham gives it up to Marissa Barros, who quickly whoops it down the line looking for Taylor Rentuma. Can she get onto this in front of Renteria? Renteria using the big body to get around her. Rentuma, a low-to-the-ground speedy type. Unable to get around that player. The clearance from Engwu, however, is claimed by Mazalowski. She's going to try to play the ball through the middle. Took a deflection that nearly settled it for Rentuma, but it will go out the back for a goal kick. Oh, excuse me, no, not a goal kick. There was a deflection in there, of course. So, in fact, it will be the third corner of the day for DVC, and in addition, we're going to have a couple of substitutions coming in. JC back onto the pitch in place of Hannah Harris, so Julia Curran re-enters. Scannell also coming off, and it will be Catherine Hafner in here, perhaps to give DVC more of a 4-4-2 for a moment, unless Hafner is going to actually play up on the wings the way that, for instance, Curran and Harris have been doing. Here comes the corner kick, brought in, settled for a moment, still alive in the mixer. It's Acela Rodriguez. Now trying to get onto it is Curran! Rodriguez the shot. Did it take a deflection? Indeed it did. We've got another corner kick, fourth of the game for the Vikings. And another opportunity knocking here. It'll be Julia Curran to go take that. Not entirely sure who it was that played in the corner kick on that last one. Another substitution for DeAnza. No, never mind. Just folks going up for some indications. Bustamante asking for some advice from her coach. Here comes Karan's corner kick going for the near post. Played through, still alive there, trying to get onto it is Masalowski. It pops up in the air. Baxter clears with the head, only as far as the top of the 18-yard box. Here comes Marissa Barros onto it, drops it back for Callie Goodman. She's got a little bit of room, works it forward for Masalowski, looking for space. Masalowski whipped to ground, penalty. And so here in the 87th minute, DVC a chance to find a fifth, and we hope that Masalowski's okay. It is the number 17, Ashley Evans, who brought her to ground. And so she will take on Jenny Engwu. It looks like before we do that, there's going to be a substitution put into effect, perhaps to put the designated penalty kick taker onto the field. Masalowski is still on the ground in some pain. She was whipped down as she turned around Ashley Evans. And so it's going to be Jenny. It does look like the... Oh, nope, the trainer is not going to be entering here. Wendy Holt was nearly called into action. But Hannah Masalowski has said, I want to stay in. I'm good. She's earned a penalty kick here, and it's going to be Goodman to try to add to her tally for the day from the spot. Here's the whistle. Goodman versus Engwu. Goodman, goal! Callie Goodman. And it's 5-0 here as we are at the 88th minute. Likely to be minimal stoppage time as we get another debutante out on the pitch. Tanya Salmaran coming in, I believe, for Taylor Rentuma. Goodman gets her second of the game. It's 5-0 DVC, a comprehensive victory. The defense playing better than we might have dreamed given the concerns of Coach Mullins leading up to this. That pairing of Goodman and Callaway certainly held things tight. Lozano and Van Horn, very hard workers as well. And the scoring is definitely there. The speed down the wings, creating all manner of havoc. The invention of Masalewski on that opportunity, creating the penalty kick. And DeAnza's looking for a goal for a little bit of pride right now as they work it down the left wing for Dewan. She looks to have played it off of Cunningham, and it'll be a throw in from the attacking third on the far sideline. By my watch, 1 minute and 15 seconds to go, plus stoppages here in today's match. Throw in coming from Dewan. Worked into the middle of the 18-yard box, shielded off by Goodman for a moment there. There was an opportunity, it looked like for a second, for Arroyo to get onto it, but it is cleared away by Callaway. And a loose ball nearly claimed by Catherine Hafner with her first touch. Lozano unable to head the clearance. It comes to Goodman, brings it forward, chested down by Hafner. Catherine Hafner to Lozano, worked forward now for Ramirez. Well, not worked forward for Ramirez, intercepted by Ramirez, excuse me. Looks like my conditioning needs a little bit of work too. Lozano recovers the ball back at her in her defensive third, whips it forward looking for Barros, who chests it down neatly but actually had a bit too much momentum and couldn't get back to the ball that she'd settled soon enough. Taken away by DeAnza and currently in possession of Arroyo. Plays it against Lozano. Arroyo trying to bring this one forward, and there's no one really to run onto it. Megan Elms will come out to claim. And we will watch the final 10 seconds tick away of regulation time. We'll see how much stoppage time is given by today's match official Alex Miller. Elms claims. And my clock ticks down. I have 45 minutes right now. Of course, we did have the injury to Masalewski, had a number of substitutions, had the penalty kick, all that stuff. 3 goals worth of stoppage, so might see a good 2 or 3 minutes in here. Ball is controlled by DeAnza, popped up looking for Bustamante. She can't get quite enough on it to settle. Lozano going back to get it. Bustamante diving and manages to recover the ball. Can she keep it in play with a slide near the corner flag? No, she cannot. She ends up conceding a goal kick. And we're at 45-30 of this match. Final indications being given by Borge and Kendall, the two coaches, usually assistant coaches, seem to be joint in charge in the absence of Colleen Mullins. Well, it does seem apparently she managed to get that to deflect off of Lozano, so it's a corner kick, not a goal kick for Elms, and will be taken by Madeline Kelly. Looking for that pride goal here is DeAnza. Madeline Kelly puts it into the 18-yard box. Out comes Elms. She's able to get a touch to it, not enough to settle it first, but she runs her way out, defended nicely by Masalewski, and she claims that ball, the woman in black, Megan Elms. Out she comes with the ball, and here's her drop kick. landing several yards past the midfield stripe. Popped up by Sanchez, who will battle here with Catherine Hafner. Finally rifled forward looking for Arroyo. Mazalewski, knock and all, able to get it around that defender. It's the ball forward here by Lozano into space, a little bit too long for Hafner, although it does drive us all the way back into the attacking third and keep DeAnza working very, very far away from their own goal. Sanchez up, Hafner onto it, not a lot of talking, and so Hafner able to rob that ball right from her. Ball played forward by Mazalewski is a little bit too long. Hafner now chasing again, 17 on 17. She's working on Ashley Evans, who has had a bit of a rough game, gave up the penalty kick, and has committed a few fouls thus far in this match. Hafner working against her, ball taken away. Last touch is... Final touch is from DVC, but that is the final whistle. We've got ourselves a DVC victory today in Cupertino at DeAnza. A 5-0 result. A pair of goals for Callie Goodman, one off the developments of a corner and one from the penalty spot. 1 goal each for newcomers Julia Curran, JC, Taylor Rentuma, and last year's reserve Marissa Barros. So thanks for tuning in to Vikings Soccer Rewind, everybody. We'll be back next Friday with the 2015 home opener against Las Positas College, and we'll be joined then by goalkeeper/color commentator Megan Elms and captain/soccer Swiss Army knife Megan Kappa. Until then, this is Joe Hickey wishing you sweet, nostalgic dreams of green. See you next time.